To order, first order of business, we have a presentation from Councilman Schmidt.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It gives me great pleasure, Madam President, thank you for your bringing me up here, to present this evening. We're passing legislation this evening, presumably that will throw in $250,000 toward the removal of the Gorge Dam. And so it's very near to come to fruition. The dam will come down and all kinds of amazing things will happen for Summit County as a result of that, as far as tourism improvement in the Cog Valley National Recreation Area. And there's one person who 30 years ago or so dreamed this. And one of the things that fascinates me most about the whole process with the dam coming down is that someone would see something like that and say, that dam, I mean, if you've ever been down there and seen that dam, it's a huge dam. I mean, for anybody to imagine that, oh yeah, we're going to take that thing down someday and improve this whole, that's what's amazing to me. My mom used to say, persistence and determination will win out every time. And one of the things I like to say to people, especially young people, is be the tortoise. Right, Gary? So come on up, Gary. I want you to talk for just a moment about, we're going to give a presentation tonight to Mr. Gary Whitten, and I'd like you to talk for a moment, Gary, about how this all came about some 30 years ago, if you'd speak into the mic.
All right. Well, I'm old enough to remember 30 years ago, so. And actually, I remember 50 years ago when we had the burning river catching fire, and that was 50 years ago now. But we've been trying to save the river, all of us, one way or the other. But one of the things that I've been involved with in the last 25, 30 years is to tape the Gorge Dam down. Now, we were down, I made a trip down to the gorge about 20 years ago, and I went down there all by myself with friends. And if you get on the water and you go up there, it's just tremendous. It's wild. It hasn't been looked at. Nobody's been there for 100 years, literally. So I looked at that and I said, how can, it was too pretty to be anything. I couldn't tell anybody about it because you have to see it to believe it. So therefore my friends and family decided to take leaders of Northeast Ohio. This guy was one of the first ones. Russ Pry, all the Summit County people, a number of them. And, but then I was part of the Communities Council at that time, and I had a lot of political connections with the Valley, Cog Valley Communities Council. So it was difficult to get anybody to go up there because they literally, everybody thought it was too polluted, and at that time it really was. And it was dangerous because you can't go anywhere safely. And anyway, the thing with this is I got my families and friends and my kayaking friends to help me. And at one time we had 18 kayaks in that group with friends and family, mostly politicians. I've had 4 Summit County mayors in that gorge, and believe me, once they see it, they're just amazed. I mean, Don Robart, Don Wallace Williams, anyway, and then Summit County, members of Summit County, but I just realized now I have 4 members. I have 3 state senators. I have 2 U.S. representatives. I have leaders of both National Park and Summit Metro Parks, Cleveland Metro Parks, what I'm talking. They got leaders there. I've had 4 3 superintendents of the national park. They're hard to get, but they went finally. I have 3 land conservancy groups leaders up there. I've had a lot of newspaper reporters, and I've had many, many people in the valley. It's after the momentum got going, it was easier. But in fact, there are going to be one of the great benefits of the group of people that finally are getting the job done is of giving them some money. Because, it's been a struggle, a true struggle to get any, Anyway, that was I'm getting near the end of my age line, and I'm sure glad to see it.
How old are you now, Gary?
85.
85. Wow. You look great still.
And thanks to my wife. She does a good job. Oh, she does.
That's good. Well, it certainly is an amazing accomplishment, and so that's why we want to commend you this evening. And I'm going to read this
Okay.
proclamation, and we'll set it right there. And so, Gary Whidden, Friends of the Crooked River, whereas Gary Whidden is self-described citizen of the valley,
That's correct.
has been instrumental in the removal of the former Ohio Edison Dam in the Gorge Metro Park. Mr. Whidden, a retired businessman and a large number of advocates and experts, wanted to see the dam and the mud that gathered behind it removed to reveal the gorge as it was when the river ran free to Lake Erie. Mr. Whidden co-founded Friends of the Crooked River, a nonprofit dedicated to good stewardship of water resources.
I didn't go. It was founded before me.
Okay, well, we'll correct that.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas Friends of the Crooked River was formed in 1990 in order to give the 100-mile length of the Cog River a voice. The organization's purpose is to educate the residents of northeastern Ohio to the value of this important watershed. The Crooked River has a far-reaching impact on our lives as it provides drinking water, wastewater disposal, agriculture, industry, shipping, recreation, and wildlife habitat. And whereas Mr. Whidden sees a restored gorge as a way to open public access to the base of the cliffs on the east side of the reservoir, a conservation area currently off limits to the public, to create a dramatic new water trail entry into the Cauga Valley National Park. Mr. Whidden has helped lead the Free the Falls project to remove the Gorge Dam and restore a free-flowing river for fish, wildlife, and people. The project, which is expected to reveal the buried waterfall for which Cauga Falls is named, will include removing an estimated 1 million cubic yards of contaminated sediment, including heavy metal, oils, and grease, from the 1.4-mile-long dam pool that's currently used by the fishers. The dam cannot be removed until the sediment is removed, and whereas the Gorge Dam is a 420-foot wide, 60-foot tall concrete barrier built in 1911 for hydroelectric power and later provided cooling water for the coal-fired Ohio Edison power plant. The dam, which is no longer functional, is planned for removal by 2026 at a joint $100 million cooperative project agreement with the Ohio and U.S. EPA. Funding has been provided through the Great Lakes Legacy Act, with cost sharing provided by the City of Akron and other stakeholders. Mr. Whidden's passion stems from his love of hiking in the Cauga Valley National Park and his long involvement in local affairs. While running a business graphics and video production firm with his wife, Carol, Mr. Whidden volunteered on the civic commission that helped organize the merger of the Cauga Falls and Northampton Township in the mid-1980s. After he retired in the early 2000s, he took up the restoration of the Cauga Gorge as his cause. Now, therefore, be it known by all and declared by the Council of the County of Summit, Ohio, that the Council recognizes the service, leadership, and dedication of Gary Whidden. Ultimately, his steadfast commitment to our natural resources will benefit generations to come. We encourage all citizens to join in the recognition of this outstanding gentleman on his 21st day of August in the year 2023.
Wow.
So there you go.
Yeah. Thank you. A lot of people involved on this.
Here, Gary, let's stand right here and get a picture.
No, you can butt.
There you go. There you go. Great, thanks. All right, Gary. Well, we're going to, Mark, you want to, we'll get that corrected?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Gary.
Today, you're a co-founder. Today's special.
That was long before we, not much.
Thank you.
There we go. All right.
Thank you, Councilman Sid.
Thank you, Madam President.
So, it's always a joy for us to have Commissioner Donna Scotta here to bring us an update. Unfortunately, we need an update, but thank you for being here, Commissioner Scotta.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I hope that this isn't the beginning of something different. But let me just kind of talk to you in general. The first question I received was about COVID, so let me talk there a little bit. And as you know, we're waiting on the next vaccine to come. We have very little information. We have not been able to pre-order, so we're not 100% sure. We've been told the end of September it should be here, maybe middle to end. And it's a monovalent, meaning it only has one strain in it, and it's what's circulating now. They're doing the XBB 1.54, and then you may have heard there's now the EG5, which is Eris, that has come along. And that vaccine is effective against that as well. So that'll be out in September. But what we're seeing right now is a surge. It's not unusual. These viruses like to circulate in the fall. So therefore, when you get more people who actually have the disease, you get more people who end up hospitalized because it's just a numbers thing. Nobody has been, this circulation right now has not been more severe. So every time it mutates, it's not been more severe. So that's a good thing. I think we'll be going through this. It'll end up, I believe, being just like the flu shot, where what will happen is they'll figure out what's going to come down the pike, what it looks like, and then they'll give you the vaccine to respond. And they do that based on the Southern Hemisphere and see what's circulating there as well. So we'll just have to see. But from all accounts, the vaccine's very effective. It'll be here hopefully soon. And it's been privatized now. So it's getting switched to the private markets. So probably what will happen, we will still have vaccine available for uninsured, even if we have to buy it. We'll continue to have vaccine. We aren't sure what the state is doing. It's kind of been a little quiet. I don't think anybody really knows as they try to shift it. There will be a federal uninsured program as well. So there should be plenty of access. Plus a lot of providers are getting it now that never had it before. So I think it'll be good. The question always comes up, should I take the booster if I haven't had it yet? And the answer is no. We're telling folks that you should probably wait because by taking the old one, it's the ancestral strains of COVID and it's also some of the new Omicron, but that isn't what's circulating now. Now, if you're traveling and at risk of running into that, then maybe you might want to take it. But we're fearful it'll make you ineligible for the one that is currently circulating for about 4 months. So we don't want people to take the old one when the new one's hopefully, 4 weeks away. So that's what we're telling folks, to just kind of hold tight until you see. The other thing I just want to make you aware of is because it's come up quite a bit is Lyme disease. We're seeing Lyme disease in exponential numbers. We have 16 cases. We've had 99 suspected and 2 probable. Last year we had 5 total. So there's a lot of ticks out there. There's a lot of tick-borne disease. And so you really want to be careful. If you're out walking, if you're in the parks, anywhere, you want to check and make sure you don't pick up a tick. If you get the tick off before 24 hours, then chances are you will not get Lyme disease. It's after it has a blood meal is when you're at risk. You know how they suck blood? And that's when you're at risk. Also, some of the Lyme disease that's being reported is not seeing that bullseye rash that you see sometimes. So you just have to be careful. Check your hair, check your pets. And in the veterinarian world, Lyme disease has been off the charts. So, there's a flea and tick prevention that you can put on your dogs and cats, but we've seen a lot of Lyme disease everywhere. And the last thing I just want to mention, just for, because this is getting some hubbub and it probably shouldn't. This time of year is not unusual that we see positive pools of mosquitoes for West Nile virus. This is very common this time of year, okay? But we have no cases of human disease, nor equine disease, nor any other animal, okay? So probably everybody's had West Nile right now and never knew it. That's what some of the random blood testing tells us, that a lot of people have antibodies, probably had the disease, never knew it, they thought they felt bad for a couple days, but they probably really had West Nile. So we don't expect it to be a bad year, but if you see any of the mosquito reports around Summit County, everywhere has positive pools right now. What we do, as soon as that tests positive, we spray at night. So we'll spray mosquitoes in that area around that. And so I don't want people, like I've been calling, should I be worried, should I be worried? Yeah, you don't want mosquito bites ever, because they carry other things besides West Nile. But I want you to know that what's going on right now is not unusual for this time of year. And that concludes what I had to say. Is there any questions?
Thank you. So if somebody thinks they might be been exposed to a tick, and they don't really know how long, you recommend them to go see a doctor?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because oh, yeah. If you get Lyme disease is one of those things, if you catch early and treat, you don't get a lot of the awful side effects. It's when you don't treat it right away is when you start getting neurological, all those things that happen. And I brought some test kits if anybody wants to take some home with you. And we have test kits if you need them for COVID. Yes, ma'am.
For Lyme, so if you take a tick off, I've taken a couple off my kids. If they're not engorged yet, you're okay, right?
Usually.
Okay.
It usually has to be on 24 hours. Yeah. So when they're real tiny, just pick them off, get them off with tweezers and clean the area real good. Oh, yeah, kids get them. You'll find them on all kinds of things. You'll find them in your hat. If you're mowing outside, you'll find them in. It's a banner year because it wasn't that cold.
Any other questions from members of council? As always, thank you, Commissioner. We
Oh,
really
you're
appreciate
welcome. I'm always have good news. Okay, bye.
Thank you. We have a couple of members of the public that want to address council. First, we have Ms. Denise Woods. Want to come to the podium? You can restate your name.
My name is Denise Woods, and I live in Bath in Councilman Will Heights District, and I have lived in Summit County for 50 years. I've been attending council meetings, and I'm here to address you today to call attention to the need to stop burning fossil fuels. We absolutely have to stop putting greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. It's driving global warming and causing catastrophic changes to our climate. We need leadership. Our government, our elected officials need to lead us and coordinate a transition to clean and efficient energy systems for the future, or we will not have a recognizable future. So I will be listening and watching and hoping to hear signs of that leadership, and I'm encouraging you to please step up to those responsibilities. And thank you for allowing me to speak to you today.
Thank you, Ms. Woods. We have Ms. Pasolette.
I'm not coming here to tear everything up, y'all. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right, we're alive in here, right? Congratulations to Mr. Whitten. And I wanted to talk about two important things this evening that are impacting all of us. And before I do that, I like this council because you reflect the rainbow, which is the promise of God, that the good things would fall upon us. One of the concerns that I was bringing to you this evening is one of them that I have in my book that I've authored and published called Choose Life. And I'm a apostolate, and I'm the founder of Mothers Lives Matter, Moms Lives Matter, and I'm also a presidential candidate for 2024 for the United States of America with a new party called the Multipartisan Party, the People's Party, which is inclusive of everyone. The topic this evening is homelessness. The homeless are people. They're not projects. They're not property. They're displaced people. The homeless are people who have purpose. And I have found in my walk that many people believe that people are homeless merely because of mental illness. That's not the case at all. Homelessness can cause mental illness, but it's not the case. We need more resources from the legislation to meet the needs of the homeless community. A homeless person can't get into a shelter unless a homeless person is diagnosed with a mental illness. People are homeless because of domestic violence. They don't want to be in an abusive situation. People are homeless because of natural tragedies. People are homeless for many, many, many different reasons, but all of them are not mental illness. I know a lot of emphasis in entertainment and concern is going towards the mental health community and pharmacology, but we need to address the root cause of all forms of mental illness. The other reason I wanted to talk to you this evening is because I've noticed, and I want you to hear me very clearly, I do not support, promote, encourage, or like racism. I don't support it at all. I'm a multiracial American. But I have found that in federal elections, every federal election, people of color in this country are sacrificed as martyrs by either mass incarceration or murder. And it's called legal and procedural. We need legislation to correct that. I'm calling out even the leaders in Washington, D.C., because the media makes billions and trillions of dollars off of the slaughter and mass incarceration of we people of color. And nothing's being done about it except for a lot of media coverage, and it always happens at a federal election. This impacts all of
I'm going to
us.
ask you to wrap it up.
This affects all of us because we don't know who our neighbor is. I didn't come up broke and in a broken environment. I didn't come in a dysfunctional home. My mother's an attorney and my dad is a former politician. I didn't come up in a dysfunctional environment.
Pasolette, could you, your time is up, so I just want to give you an
Okay.
opportunity to wrap up your final remarks.
And I look forward to the day that you all don't just look at the time, because I see other people that you allow to come down here and talk, and you even give them presentations. You never give me that. I have a lot to say, and I've lived through a lot. And I would like an opportunity for you not just to run the clock on me, but hear what I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, your attention. And remember, everyone's not homeless because of mental illness. Thank you.
Thank you, Pasolette.
Thank you. Do you have a question for me?
No, just a point of fact. Individuals who enter homeless shelters do not have to be classified as mental health individuals. I run a homeless shelter,
Okay.
and that is not the case.
Okay, that's different from the information I received. So I'm glad you're putting it out there so people who are out there will know that. Thank you for making that known.
Thank you, Pasolette.
Thank you.
So we have 9 first readings and 1 motion, M041, 2023. We have Mr. Twiggs here to address council. Mr. Twiggs is being appointed to the ADM board.
Well, my name's Charles Twigg. I was contacted by the executive's office and asked if I would be interested in serving on the ADM board. I'm a recently retired deputy chief from the Akron Fire Department. I've spent 30 years in public service and public safety. I'm highly committed to the mission. I think it's important. We all know that there's members of our community that need help, and the ADM board is a fabulous organization. I'm honored for the opportunity to serve, and I'm here to ask and answer any questions and would be interested in.
Council members have any questions? I can say I'm happy to see you, and I think that you will be a wonderful addition to the ADM board. So thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you very much. Okay. Sure.
Thank you. 2023-246, we have Mr. Major Tumba. Kalama to address council.
Good evening. I'm Major Kalama. I'm the jail commander for Summit County Jail with the Summit County Sheriff's Office. I was asked to come in today to ask for the bidding process to expedite our inmate commissary bidding process to take place. With that being said, the current provider that we have right now, which is the Keefe Group, that contract, those renewals are up. There were 5 renewals, and we're at the end of that. And so we're asking for that to be expedited, as well as that to be extended sort of as an emergency extension for the next year while that's advertised for bidding. With that being said, we're also asking for this to be passed upon the first reading this evening. So, does anyone have any questions that I can answer?
Thank you, Major.
Yes, ma'am.
Just wondering, did we not know this was coming, or what's the
I'm in.
time crunch? I'm wondering why.
I'm not exactly sure, and I apologize that I can't answer that. That actually falls outside my purview with respect to the fiscal aspect of it. But we're, sort of at crunch time at this point to move forward with it, to get it to continue. So I apologize that I don't have a ready answer for you. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Anyone else? That's it.
Do you have any other questions?
No. Thank you.
Major.
Thank you.
2023-247, we have Mr. Kentelis to address council.
Good evening, Ken Tillis, Common Pleas Court. We are asking for approval of the award of the Board of Control of an extension of our contract with Greenleaf Family Services. They provide assessments for parties who are candidates for intervention in lieu of conviction. It's typically been a 2-year contract, and the current contract ended in June. We are extending for 6 months and going to be going out for an RFP for continuation of those services. It was something that the judges weren't sure whether they wanted to continue, and we had some dialogue with Greenleaf. So we want to keep all of our options open. Asking for first reading passage because the existing contract ended in June, and we had counsel on break, so we're trying to be able to keep the vendor paid while we go out for RFP. I would be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tellis. Any questions from members of council? Are you good with this, Councilwoman?
So this is, you're considering whether they want to keep it after this is left?
Correct. There are a couple different models that these services can follow, and some of the judges take a slightly different path that allows their cases to flow more effectively for the way that they make the referrals. So we wanted to make sure we're covering all of the options. That Greenleaf has done a good job for us so far. I don't want to make any indication that we're unhappy with them. It's just because there are a couple different ways to do it. We wanted to make sure everyone is having an opportunity to bid on it, let us know what they can do, and Greenleaf certainly will be invited to submit a proposal as well.
Thank you, Mr. Tellis. 2023-248, we have Mr. Tom Gelbert to address council.
Good evening. Tom Jalbert, Job and Family Services. We are requesting first reading passage for the 2 subcontract agreements that are under a agreement we brought to council back in June for our return mail solution for Medicaid unwinding. These 2 subcontracts are over $50,000, therefore require your approval. We were unaware of the value of these contracts when we entered into the main contract. So in the first reading passages, due to the work hoping to start early September, so trying to get things moving as fast as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Talbert. Any questions from members of council? Councilwoman Darrow, are you okay with this? Thank you. 2023-249, Mr. Montgomery to address council.
Thank you, Madam President. Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. We have this cycle's appropriation exhibit out for review. The first one is an annual grant for the Health Department as it relates to tuberculosis for 2022 cases. The next is an appropriation for a contract that has been approved through the Board of Control and will be before council. The next one is the medical examiner grant award from the State Coroners Association. On to page 2, we have the 4 new program year grants for HWAP in our community development department. And then on the last page, there's a slight increase for the engineer for some tuition reimbursement. And the last is a new grant award for the prosecutor. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery.
Phil, this is a question more for Donna. Donna, do we have an issue with tuberculosis increasing? I had read a couple months back that it's actually starting to come back as an issue. Do we have that here in the county?
Yes. Tuberculosis, we have, I don't know how much, I want to say 6 cases, 7 cases right now. They're pretty common to find it. I mean, it's not gone by any stretch, but around the country, there's been an uptick of tuberculosis, not in any one gender population, foreign-born. It's kind of everywhere. And we have had some odd cases. We provide direct observational therapy where you have to go watch the person take their medicine every day just to make sure they get treatment. And so we do that as well, or we put them up in hotels if we need to, or wherever we need to secure them. But yeah, it's been around the country. One theory is because of COVID. A lot of people weren't checked, tested, didn't see physicians. We're also seeing a huge uptick in sexually transmitted diseases, particularly syphilis. So, and most of it's been blamed on folks not getting regular health care or going to their doctors, or facilities being shut, and so it does cause these secondary kinds of infections. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from members of council? Are you good with that, Councilman Donofrio? Thank you. 2023-250, we have Ms. Madhu Sharma to address council. Madhu.
Good evening, council members. My name is Madhu Sharma. I'm the executive director of the International Institute of Akron. I was invited here today to talk to you briefly about the welcoming resolution recognizing September 8th through September 17th as Welcoming Week in Summit County. As many of you know, the International Institute of Akron has existed in our community for over 100 years. We were founded in 1916. Since then, we've been helping people displaced by war and persecution from all over the globe throughout history. More recently, in the last few decades, we've welcomed people from South Asia, Bhutan specifically, and people who are Nepali speaking. And we are currently welcoming people who were airlifted out of Afghanistan or fleeing persecution from Afghanistan, Sudan, Syria, the Democratic Republic of Congo. This year alone, we'll be resettling 500 refugees to the Akron community, and we are rebuilding capacity and are looking to our community and our community partners to help us in our important work. As the resolution states, there's been an increase of people who are seeking refugee status in the world, but I'd like to also remind you that people are being displaced by war, climate disasters, civil strife. This year alone, 110 million people have been forcibly displaced around the world, and it marks the largest ever one-year increase in global history. So the work we're doing together as a community is so important. The International Institute of Akron, our mission today is really to help foster a sense of belonging for people who are coming to our community to build a new home, and we couldn't do it without community partners, without local government supporting us, and without a very welcoming environment for people to start their new lives. With that, I'd like to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Sharma. Any?
Good to see you. And I'll just note one, I'd really like to go on as a co-sponsor for this. I would love to. But just a note for my colleagues as well that Madhu is talking about all the important reasons why we as a country do this work, but how critical that's been for our community. But for the work of the International Institute, we would be in a much different population status. The work that the International Institute has done to welcome folks, to make this a welcoming community, has helped stabilize population loss that we otherwise would have seen if we were another Northeast Ohio county. So it is the right thing to do, but also has the benefit of being an incredible economic investment for our community. So thank you for everything you guys do.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Councilwoman Walters. Any other comments, questions? I think she. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Madhu. Thank you.
2023-252, we have Ms. Heidi Swindell to address council.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineers Office. This is just legislation authorizing us to apply for a grant. It is the H2 Ohio grant program. This is a new one for us. So the grant deadline we're like, oh, we need to get that done. So we're asking for first reading passage. This doesn't commit to any of this money, just is a piece of paper that we have to turn in with the grant application that shows there is legislative support behind it. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from members of council? You good, Ms.? Thank you, Ms.
All right, thank you.
2023-254, we have Joe Eckenrode to address council on 2023-255 as well.
Good afternoon, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants. We're asking first reading passage to take the parking decks construction bid out to bid. This is going to address the structural needs of the parking deck now and 5 years from now. We're going to clean the whole deck, coat the top, and restripe everything, paint the stairwells, rejuvenate all of them. So we're asking for a first reading passage so that we can keep this project moving on a timely basis and get the work scheduled for this winter.
Thank you. Any questions from members of council? Are you good with this, Councilman? Thank you. We'll do 255.
Again, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants. This next project is part of the courthouse. We are currently going to have AmeriSeal come in and clean the statues, the monument walls, sidewalks, and everything outside of the courthouse. During our investigation, we found out that some of the retaining walls are leaning and need to be rebuilt. They happen to be the ones that were built out of the old sandstone steps that led up to the courthouse. So we're going to ask to bid to tear the walls down, palletize them, regrade, and then put those same steps back with proper drainage to make them last well into the future. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Eckenrode. Any questions from council? I bet you. Any other questions or comments from members of council? You good with that? We're roaring for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 2023-258, we have Mr. Thomas Smoot to address council.
Good evening, Tommy Smoot, Executives Department of Public Safety. We're requesting first reading passage in order to move forward with authorizations to bid. These are all funded by FY22, our State Homeland Security Grant program. We have 3 radio communications projects, and they are for Bath Township's Springfield and Mahoning County SWAT. The next item are 2 X-ray machines for the Ashland and Youngstown bomb squads. We have 1 heavy equipment rescue specialist training, and that's going to be for Summit County, the technical rescue team here, and then a new bomb robot for the Summit County bomb squad. And that rounds out the advertisements.
Mr. Smoot, any questions from members of council? Hearing none, are you good with that, Councilwoman Dickinson? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I don't see Inspector Holland here. Are you?
I'm going to take care of it.
2023-261. We have Ms. Deb Matz to address council.
Deb Matz, Department of Law and Risk Management. Here for the sheriff, actually, though. This is a resolution requesting first reading passage to approve a memorandum of understanding between Summit County on behalf of the Sheriff's Office and the Nordonia Hills City School District for an SRO officer in that district. This would be a contract that would be at the policing contract rates, so they're compensating us for the actual cost of the officer. During the summer break, however, that officer will be recommitted to the jail, so it's only for this 9-month period of the school year. And quite frankly, the reason we're asking for first reading passage is because the school year has started and they're kind of anxious to have their SRO start. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Matz.
Yes, ma'am.
So, are they switching from, this used to be handled by Macedonia Police Department, are they now going to be going to sheriff now?
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering, do we have other sheriff's deputies as school resource officers?
Yes. The other SRO contract or MOU that we have is with the City of Greene for Greene City Schools. No, actually, there's, I want to say that's a 2 or 3 officer agreement.
And are they people who are already sheriff's deputies that then get sort of low?
Yes. Yes.
Just thinking about what happens after the hiring, wondering about the process.
So, to become a school resource officer, first off, they have to have a certain amount of training that's approved by the Ohio OPATA. I can't remember what that acronym stands for. But then once they've completed that training, in order to be dedicated to a school district as an SRO, we have to enter into an MOU. That MOU has 2 aspects. There's the aspect that talks about their actual relationship with the school and with school administration, and then there's an MOU that covers the fiscal side of it. And there, ordinarily I would rebel against calling this kind of thing an MOU, but that's what the state legislature has decided these things need to be called, all right? And so in Nordonia, we are only doing 1 officer because that officer is really only going to be dedicated to 1 school. In the city of Greene, you are talking about the high school, the middle school, and the intermediate school. Thank you. So it takes more officers. Yes, ma'am.
Follow up on that one, because I was going to ask that about the other schools in Nordonia, because I do know that there used to be, so they would kind of like, if there was an issue, that resource officer would go to those other schools if there was an issue. So you're saying that, no, they're only going to be in the 1 school, in the high school, and then they're not going to go to the middle school or the other schools if necessary?
There isn't anything about this arrangement that prohibits them from doing that, but that's the school to which they will be dedicated most of the time. These officers are all equipped with cars, so that if something occurs in one of the other schools, they can get there. It's not just to put a DARE car in front of the school to say, hey, we're, supporting DARE. It's so that they can get around and respond to issues.
I know Nordonia, they are very good about sharing services. I know they're there. Like there's an issue, you got them all there.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Matz, I don't know if I misread it, but in the pay differentials, it looked like it was a $10 difference. Is there any reason? It looked like for the fall it was $71 an hour. For the spring it was $81 an hour.
So the only difference between this contract and the other SRO agreements is that we are not charging them for a supervisor simply because we have a policing relationship with Northfield, and that supervisor will also supervise this officer. Now, the reason we charge for a supervisor for green is because you're talking about 3 officers.
There's actually
So.
4, Deb.
4? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from members of council?
I'm not sure if did that answer your question? Because that's not how I understood the question.
So the question on the mock-up for costs, we see the cars, we see the hourly rate, but it looks like the rate changes between the fall semester and the spring semester, from $71 an hour to $81 an hour. So I was asking, what was the cause of the pay differential?
So that is the factor of the change in the cost for the Rotary Fund. So all of our policing and SROs that are done and contracted out to their communities, we have a rate schedule. So the current, and it's based on the fiscal calendar. So the 21 through 23 contracts are expiring, the rates are expiring. And so when we recalculated the Rotary Fund, that starts in January of 24. So it's not about the semesters, it's just the timing of the year and where it falls in the fiscal contract. So in the 24 rates, we have the increases for the FOP fact-finding in terms of what happened with their general wage increases. We also have the huge uptick in liability insurance as it relates to policing. And so all of those were factored into the hourly rate, and that changes from December 31 to January 1 in the new contract cycle.
Sorry, I totally misunderstood the question. I
So
apologize.
So that's not necessarily reflective of the salary that the officers being.
It's inclusive.
What? Okay, so it includes the salary, but.
Correct.
The salary is.
That is the calculated rate for not only the salaries, but all of the other indirect costs that are related to that, the uniform allowances, this is the cost per hour, in our best estimate, that it costs the county to have a sheriff deputy.
Yeah, it just looked, the way it was listed, like it was saying, the fall, this is the amount for the fall, and like something magical happened.
It really was just the fiscal
Okay.
calendar timing.
All right, thank you.
I'm going back to Nordonia.
Okay.
You had mentioned supervisor. Now, who is going to be, you said Northfield Center is going to be in charge of that officer?
Well, we have a policing contract with the township. And it is the supervisor that supervises the officers under that policing contract that will also supervise the school resource officer. Yes.
I know, I just wanted to make sure. I already, because I know the
Yes.
difference between the city officers
Right.
and the township officers.
Right. It's the township.
All right, I just wanted to clarify that, now that you mentioned that, though.
Yes.
So in case anybody asks me, I want to be able to answer the residents of Nordonia.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other questions from members of council? Hearing none, thank you, Mr. Matz.
Thank you.
So tonight we have 17 first reads, we have 1 motion, we have 9 first read passage requests, we have 2 late files, routine legislation on page 6 through 12. There is 1 second reading, and there are no third readings. We'll now rise to the pledge led by Councilman Schmidt. Pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt.
Here.
Ms. Hyam.
Here.
Mr. Donofrio. Mr. DeVitas. Ms. Dickinson.
Here.
Ms. Sims.
Here.
Mr. Wilhite.
Here.
Ms. Darrow.
Here.
Ms. Rogers. Ms. McKinney.
Here.
Ms. Walters.
Here.
Okay, a motion to approve the minutes from the August 7th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Liz Walters. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Motions for Council M41, 2023, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Mr. Charles Twigg, replacing Dan Flowers, to the Alcohol, Drug, Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman McKinney for M041, 2023. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023 246, a resolution authorizing the county, the executive to advertise for bids for the operation of the jail inmate commissary at the Summit County Jail located at 205 East Crozier Street, Akron, Ohio, 44311 in Council District 4 for the period 11/15/23 through 11/14/24 with 5 options to renew for an additional 1-year term. Emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-246 on the suspension. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-247, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Greenleaf Family Center as a best practical source to provide assessments to identify individuals who may require enhanced court services through the Summit County Targeted Community Alternatives to Prison program from 7/1/23 through 6/30/24 in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Executive Department of Public Safety. Emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-247 on the suspension. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-248, a resolution authorizing the executive to authorize Clarity Solutions Group LLC to enter into subcontractor agreements with TIPCO Group for project management and technology solutions consultants for installation and testing of various related programs for services to automate the processing of Medicaid renewal packets received by mail for the Executive Department of Job and Family Services. Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-248.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-248 on the suspension. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-249, a resolution appropriating funds in order to meet projected expenditures for the balance of 2023 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-249.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-249. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-250, a resolution declaring September 8th through 17th, 2023 as Welcoming Week in Summit County, recognizing refugees, immigrants, new citizens, and the contributions they make to our community, as well as the challenges and roadblocks they face. Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-250.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-250. All in favor, on the adoption, all in favor, on the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-251, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Minutemen HR Risk Management Services as best practical source for third-party administrator services for the county's workers' compensation program for a period of 3 years in an amount not to exceed $96,000 for the Executive's Department of Human Resources, Division of Employee Benefits. Emergency. 2023-252, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute an Ohio Department of Natural Resources grant application and any other documents necessary to apply for and accept Ohio River Basin H2 Ohio Wetland Grant Program funds in the amount of $891,800 for the Idlebrook Bankful Wetlands Project located in Bath Township in Council District 5 with a local match of $928,200 in American Rescue Plan Act funds for the executive and engineer. Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-252.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 252. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-253, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a community development block grant agreement with the City of Fairlawn and Fairlawn GIG to run conduit fiber in Copley Township in Council District 5 and a total amount not to exceed $1,700,000 for the Executive's Department of Community and Economic Development. Emergency. 2023-254, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for the Summit County Parking Deck Improvement Project located in the City of Akron in Council District 4 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $2,068,359.26 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-254.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-254. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-255, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for the courthouse retaining walls rebuild project located in the city of Akron and Council District 4 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $100,000 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Division Emergency.
I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-255.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-255. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-256, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with CG Building Group LLC under the Public Cooperative Purchasing Agreement with Equalis Group in an amount not to exceed $200,382.28 for the relining service of the underground plumbing drains at the Summit County Community-Based Corrections Facility located in the city of Akron and Council District 4 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Emergency. 2023-257, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Courtview Justice Solutions, Inc., DBA Equivant as sole source for system software for a 5-year term from 1/1/24 through 12/31/28, with one option to renew for an additional 5-year term in an amount not to exceed $453,585 for the Court of Common Pleas Probate Division Emergency. 2023-258, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for multiple pieces of equipment and training for various hazardous response special operations teams and jurisdictions for an estimated total amount not to exceed $585,000 for the Executive's Department of Public Safety EMA Emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-258. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-259, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of change order number 2 to professional service contract with Clemens, Nelson and Associates, Inc. to provide additional professional services in various negotiations, grievances, arbitrations, and other labor matters in an amount not to exceed $50,000 for a cumulative increase of 150% for a total amount not to exceed $125,000 for the Executive's Department of Law and Risk Management and the Sheriff Emergency. 2023-260, a resolution ratifying the chart of accounts and project strings established by the Executive and Fiscal Officer upon the conversion from the Banner system to the Tyler Enterprise System as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive and the Fiscal Officer Emergency. I believe we need a motion to add the,
We need to add
The late filing.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and add.
we don't, pardon me, we don't need to suspend, we just need to, a motion to add the late filings.
Okay. Move to add the late filing. Paper 2023-261.
You want to do both of them?
Yes.
I have a motion to add 2023-261 and 2023-262. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-261, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the County of Summit Sheriff's Office and the Nordonia Hills School District Board of Education in Council District 1 in order to hire a school resource officer in accordance with Section 3133.951 of the Ohio Revised Code and authorizing the executive to execute any necessary documents for the executive and sheriff emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-261. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-262, a resolution authorizing the executive and fiscal officer to establish an internal lease fund titled Internal Lease Fund and appropriating $2 million to the fund to be used to pay for procurement and equipment on behalf of county departments who will repay the fund over the useful life of the equipment for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
Routine legislation.
Move to approve the routine legislation.
Suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules and approve the routine legislation found on pages 7 through 13.
6 to 12.
7 through 12. 6 through 12.
6 through 12.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt routine legislation found on pages 6 through 12. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Madam President, I move to amend 2023-231 to reflect the new language on the purple sheet, which has the correct date of the contract length.
I have a motion to amend 2023-231. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-231, an amended resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Retzel Consulting Solutions as a best practical source to provide economic development strategy, project management, and consulting services to the county for the period 9/1/23 through 8/31/24, with two options to renew for an additional one-year term in an amount not to exceed $90,000 for the Executive's Department of Community and Economic Development emergency.
Okay. Move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-231.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-231. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. No third readings. Is there anything else to come before this council?
Madam President, thank you. I'd like to ask Joe Eckenrode, the parking deck project and the retaining wall project, when will those get underway?
You want to come up, you want to come to that, oh, so we can hear you. Thanks.
I knew I stuck around for a reason. So we're looking to start the parking deck project this winter. It's going to be phased construction, a deck at a time. Middle floors will be open to drive through as we work on them. But it will be finishing up in the springtime. Some of the work won't be able to probably be done during the winter months. Across the street, I hope to get it out to bid, and I want to get the retaining wall built as soon as possible. I could see construction starting in October, as long as whoever wins is, their schedule is able to align with that.
What do you mean by that, whoever wins?
Whoever wins the bid.
Okay, well, so you're going to put this out to bid?
Correct.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Welcome. Anything else to come before the council? Well, I thank you very much. Have a safe travel home. We are now adjourned.